Well, let's stay with this story now and get reaction from the Eastern Cape Education Department. Its spokesperson is Vuyiseka Mboxela, who joins us now. Ms. Mboxela, good evening to you, and thank you very much for your time. Let's begin with the Basic Education Minister's reflections on what happened there. The understanding is that she was in the province today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mgambi, and good afternoon to the viewers of Newzroom Afrika, and we're humbled by this moment. The Minister of Basic Education, Ms. Vuyiseka Mboxela, indeed was in Port Elizabeth visiting 4 schools that are categorized differently. But centrally to her visit was also to assess the state of security in different schools in the province, get a report from the sector, what are the plans that are there, and also what could be the national intervention in relation to security. One thing that she raised strongly is that the issue of security in school is not going to be done in isolation with the broader security of communities. And part of the commitment that she made is that she is going to also make an emphatic lobbying to the minister that is responsible for South African Police Service and most probably the entire security cluster to look at the issue of Eastern Cape, especially Gqeberha and Mthatha very closely. And she has also made a commitment that she is going to be very close to the province, because it's very clear that the issue of extortion, which now is disturbing our school, is taking a center stage. And her biggest worry is that this is the time to which we should become focused, preparing for final examination.
Yeah, let's focus the attention on the Zakhele Primary School. How is that school being supported right now? It is without the principal and owing to this very, very brazen attack on the principal. But importantly, how is that school being protected right now?
There was a team that was sent there in the school by the department to assess the easy exit and easy entrance in the school. And before the end of the week, there's going to be a decision taken by the department. That's 1. 2, the MEC is surely going to join the funeral when they finally lay the departed principal. And thirdly, an acting principal is going to be appointed. But the view of the MEC is that it can't just be that there's a person that is departed and then therefore must quickly make decisions as if there is no person that was there. His call is that the intervention that was made by the minister, it must be an intervention that is able to give fruit and to give results, especially to schools, because now this is the end of the year. And secondly, his call is that we must not only think that there can be safe schools if communities are not safe. So it is important that communities in the area of OR Tambo, including traditional leaders, must get close to what is happening in OR Tambo, because when people that are doing extortion are done with schools, they are going to go to churches and they are going to go to health institutions. And it therefore means that the society would have collapsed completely. And we believe that even the work that has been done by Premier is a work that should be yielding positive results by now. And if there are some indications that this is a coordinated syndicate, at least there should be some arrests that are taking place, because in the past week, we have had 2 schools closing. The other ones that were 2 also were threatened. But through the work with the traditional leaders in OR Tambo, specifically the Tembu Kingdom, we managed to open the schools back. But now there is a human being that has departed based on the very same security issue. And we are very much frustrated, because it therefore means that there's going to be a frightening moment for teachers, and it's going to make them not to focus in this final examination. And I do believe that there's going to be a cabinet meeting and also a standing committee of basic education in the province tomorrow, which part of what is going to be ventilated is the security of schools across the province.
Yeah. Ms. Mboxela, the departed principal, the one who sadly lost his life here, Mr. Mphakamisi Nciweni. The understanding is that this was not the first attempt on his life, possibly owing to extortion. And this time around, whoever was following him made sure that he was fatally shot. Was the department ever alerted to this? And perhaps added to that question is, why do you believe, as a department in the Eastern Cape, schools have become targets for extortion?
One of the reasons that we can see as a reason for thugs and criminals to target schools is because they know that schools are given support in the form of resources, that is money for school nutrition, and also there are schools that have got cell phone towers, which those service providers of cell phone towers, they then get to rent in the school. And then they decide then to know that each month there's money that comes to the school, and then therefore that money can be drawn willy-nilly for them. And the other third thing is that there are some materials, including gadgets for ICT, which are meant to augment teaching and learning in schools, which they know that if they go and take those gadgets in school, they can be able to get money. So those are some of the reasons. It's because there are people who know that there are some financial resources that are deposited schools for schools to operate and for schools to make sure that there's food in front of kids every time they go to school. But generally, we see it as not just something that is targeting schools only, because for now, thugs and criminals have identified schools as a soft target. Yeah. When they are done with the schools, if the country is not talking and if the country is not standing up, they are going to go to the health sectors. They are going to go to the next sector. They are going to go to the next sector. And that is why we are making this clarion call that this must be kept and this must be attacked at its own infant stages, because if it doesn't, the next thing that is going to happen is going to be exactly what is happening in PE, where they even go to families that are having burials. When they know that there's a family that is going to have a burial on the weekend, and possibly there are some insurances that would have paid off, they come and demand money. So it therefore means that as a community, we are just all not safe. We might be identifying schools now as a soft target, but they are also going to identify the next other possible sector. And it is in this point that which we hope and we pray very much that the interdepartmental and multidisciplinary team that has been sent by Honorable Mchunu in the Eastern Cape is going to crack the whip and is going to be able to arrest those that are perpetrators, because the society in the Eastern Cape, especially in Gqeberha and also in the OR Tambo district, it is just living in fear, and it's a painful experience, especially when it comes to school, because you just picture the experience that the lady was explaining from today going forward. Therefore, she is going to live with that reality for the rest of her life. And the psychosocial support that we are going to give her is not going to be enough for her if there is nothing that then says the perpetrator has been brought to book, and this is the process that is going to be taken by government just generally to make sure that the situation of schools in the Eastern Cape is made a priority and we are indeed safe.